All right, we are back with another pick'em video. It is Sunday, January 18th in the NBA. I know we got football going on, but going to be talking about the NBA in this specific video. And I got a couple plays for you guys that I want to walk through. So if that sounds cool, go ahead and leave the video a like, comment something down below, subscribe if you are new. The top of the recap of yesterday's video picks. And it was a losing day. And it was our first losing day in a while. We were on a nice little streak, but you know, all good things come to an end, and we will start a new streak hopefully today. But yeah, it was Klay Thompson, the first game of the night. He dominated this line. He had 3 threes in the first quarter. He had 6 threes in the first half. And then he pretty much didn't play the rest of the game. But that was a 1.2 unit win for us, a plus 120. It was supposed to be our hardest play to hit. And then it was just all downhill from there. Starting off, I think with Anthony Simons, yeah, he was the next game. 16.5 points. He ends with 14 on the night, but we had Jaylen Brown score 18 in the first quarter of that game. Anthony Simons also did not start in this game, which I thought he was going to, but it wouldn't have mattered because Jaylen Brown was not passing the rock up. He was scoring everything at will. And then Anthony Simons comes in, and he scores pretty well in the first half. I don't remember exactly how many he had, but he had around 10 or so points in that first half. And then Sam Hauser started jacking things up too. So we had Sam Hauser go for 30 points on 10 3-pointers. He shot 1 million of them. And then we also had Jaylen Brown score 40 points in that game. And with that, Anthony Simons still scored 14 points. So I don't mind this read. He did have a couple threes that would have put him over. I think he missed 2 threes in the fourth quarter that would have cashed this. Again, he was just landing on the 14 points. But again, this was a blowout. This was like a 40-point game at one point. He had 2 other guys cooking. He shot efficiently, 5 of 10 from the field, I believe. And he just couldn't get it done. That's what happens sometimes. But the other 2 reads here, horrible. Brandon Miller had 6 3-pointers in that game. We had him under 2.5. It was plus money, but still 6 3-pointers on 11 shots. I was so close to betting LaMelo Ball. I was between the 2 of them, but Brandon Miller just made a whole lot more sense in terms of the filters that I had put on in the game plan. He just knocked him down. Bad read. 6 threes. Come on. Alex Sarr, another one. I think this is just a bad read. He played 28 minutes in that game. Dealt with fouls, but it was pretty much all in the fourth quarter, so that wasn't even an excuse. But he had 1 assist. I could not find the potential assists he had yesterday, and I wasn't watching that game at all. I was obviously watching football. But yeah, 2.5 assists, just couldn't get there. I thought he could. The history was there, and just didn't. So no excuses for these 2. Big excuses for Anthony Simons, and then Klay Thompson. I thought I was going to look like an absolute genius coming on here today because he was that first game. But doesn't matter. We've had losing days before. We're going to have a bunch of winning days as well. And hopefully the winning days outweigh the losing days, which we have a pretty good track record of doing so. So let's get into the plays for today, and then I'll get you guys on your way. So jumping into play number 1, I got Steven Adams, and I'm looking at his rebounds against the Pelicans. Now, with Steven Adams, he's got a great matchup for rebounds. He's played these guys once already. We'll get the easy stuff out of the way. And he had 10 rebounds in that game on 21 chances, and he still played 28 minutes in this game. I don't expect fully 28 minutes, but we'll see because Tari Easton's questionable, and this is what we're going to have to deal with in terms of the injury news. That's going to be the big thing for his minutes. Tari Easton is questionable. We'll see if he plays, but even if he does, we got Finney Smith back. We also have Jabari Smith Jr. back. So that does scare me in terms of some minutes against the Pelicans, especially because the Pelicans, they might want to run a little bit smaller, and Steven Adams gets played off the court a little bit. They can get Dorian Finney-Smith in there, Tari Easton now, to play some small ball center minutes for them. But regardless, we've seen this before. Tari Easton and Dorian Finney-Smith did not play in this game, but we have seen a bunch of games with all these guys active. So with Tari Easton, with Sengun, with Thompson, with Jabari Smith, and we only have 1 game with Finney-Smith, but he still had 9 rebounds in that game, and that was against the Lakers. He played 26 minutes in that game. So we got plenty of data points with all these guys pretty much active in the lineup. But he's over this in 72% of games, and he's averaging minutes per game 20.8. So again, I'm not expecting 20, even 7 minutes from the guy. I'm expecting around 16. I think that's his low end. And I'm, maybe maxes out at 25, let's say, 24. He's still over this in 5 or 6 games with all these guys active and everything like that. We haven't even talked about the matchup, which is very, very good. Rebounds allowed 22nd rank. Offensive rebounds allowed 26th rank. He also has a very good scoring matchup. To be totally honest, I was looking at his plus 900 double-double prop. But again, it's hard to understand how many minutes he's going to actually play. Is Tari Easton going to play? A couple different question marks there. Now, he's expected for 23 minutes right now, so that's kind of exactly right in this range. They expect even a little bit more minutes. But even in this much time without any filters on, let's go back here. We'll go to the 17. There's click expected. He's over this in 73% of games. So this looks like a no-brainer to me. Again, the plus 105 is just icing on the cake. great matchup for him to do so. He's already done it against this team anyway. Played 28 minutes in that game. We might not even get Tari Eason in this game, which would just be a huge boost for Steven Adams to get more minutes, and he can gobble up in a really good matchup here. So Steven Adams, go ahead, get some boards against the Pelicans. He's done it before, and if you want to sprinkle something crazy, get crazy on this Sunday. His double-double line, again, is like plus 900 right now. So Steven Adams, plus 105. Boards, first play of the video. Next play I like is going to be in that early game, so I'm just not going to spend too much time on it because you guys won't have too much time to tail if you're watching this after that noon slot game. But I got Ja Morant. He's probable today, hasn't played since January 2nd, which is a good thing for me in terms of the under 19.5 points at minus 108. Again, definitely really liking this under. This is a very good defense. They just got Franz Wagner back. They're not very much injured. I guess Zach Edey's out of this game, but he's been out of pretty much every game all season. Maybe no Santi Aldama, but otherwise they're relatively healthy here. I don't think Ja Morant's going to get thrown right into the fire unless he's like, hey, trade me, I'm going to ball out so you get some of my trade value up or whatever it might be. But he's on the trade block for sure. He's a guy that hasn't played in a while, and this line's high, especially for this season, 19.5 points. You go to the projected minutes. He's projected right now for 25 minutes over on RotoWire. I don't expect him to see anything more than 30 minutes. So in games he's seeing, and I like get rid of outliers, 15 to 30. I don't think he's going to get 15, but I could see him getting like 16 minutes or something weird today. 16 to 30 minutes. He's over this in 42% of games. And they're going up against a pretty good defense. So like we'll take out the bottom half of the league in terms of defensive standings. And he's only had that one matchup in this many minutes, 22 minutes against the Heat on 12 points there. He did do this a couple times last year, and he stayed under in 33, or only went over in 33% of those games too. And one of these games was against the Magic. Yeah, I could see something like this, a 16-point performance in 25 minutes. I could absolutely see something like that happening. Again, good defensive matchup against him. They do, I guess this is last year, but they do allow a decent amount in pick and roll ball handling, 23rd ranked. He can do some stuff in the floater game, but I think this is just a minutes play. I don't expect him to come back in and play a million minutes today. Again, he's missed 6 games in a row or 7 games in a row, and I just don't see it today. So 19.5 points just seems too high, and I don't mind the matchup. We got some history with this much time on the court and things like that. We literally have a game against the Magic, who are a little bit different this year, I will say, but they're starting to get healthy once again. So 25 minutes, 16 points. You get the free throw line 8 times in that game too. Maybe we see something like that, but to score 20 points, I don't see it today for Ja. Jumping into play number 3, going to be a weird one because I never thought I'd ever bet on this. Cam Thomas to get some assists today against the Chicago Bulls. Minus 108 does look like the best value if you want to get crazy with it. I honestly was looking at the plus 220 at 3.5 as well. But yeah, I never thought I was going to talk about Cam Thomas getting assists. But since he's come back from injury, since he's been reduced to a bench role, he's been a little bit more of a playmaker. And again, I'm a Celtics fan. I got to see Anthony Simons kind of transition into more of a defensive-minded player because you kind of get a wake-up call when these things happen. Anthony Simons gets traded to the Celtics. He's reduced to that bench role. Now he's playing, not his 35 minutes and getting every shot like he was on the Trailblazers. Now he's playing a reduced time, and he only gets a limited time on the court to, showcase what he can do. So he wants to do it in a better way than Cam Thomas coming in, playing his 35 minutes, and know he can shoot 25 times. No, now he only plays about 24 minutes. Now it's uptrending since his injury came back from the injury. But you can see the assist numbers are up, which is great to see. Now he gets a good matchup for assists, 30th ranked in terms of the restricted area. That's 40% of his assists. And there's no Michael Porter Jr., which honestly, I wish he kind of was playing here with Michael Porter Jr. in the 2 games. Or I guess without him, Michael Porter Jr., he's gotten 3 assists in both those games. So no super high upside, and again, played around 23, 24 minutes. But without Michael Porter Jr., it's just another guy that can put the ball in the basket. But a lot of other guys can do some damage right at the rim. So he can fall into some assists today. The assist numbers have been up since he's probably gotten a wake-up call and been like, hey, maybe play more like a basketball player and not just an absolute chuck. And it's a weird one, but I do like this spot. Expected minutes probably around, I'd say 23 to maybe 30 minutes, maybe like 28 minutes. Over this in 57% of the games. And again, all of those pretty much since the injury here, if I'm looking at the right year. Yeah, all those since the injury coming back from that. So he's got in hard spots. This is an easy spot. He's already had 4 assists against this team. He hopefully has some easy dump-off passes to guys down low, and he walks into some. But 2.5, not asking for much, minus 108. So that will do it for the video picks. I'm going to actually talk about some leans real quick just so you guys have more opportunities to mess around with some plays, especially because this one's coming out 1 hour before one of the games starts. but all the rest of them are later in the day. So Morant is that in that game that's going to start soon. 19.5 points. I'm taking the under. I don't think he's going to score 20 points today. He's missed a whole bunch of games in a row, and I don't particularly love this matchup for him. Then we got Steven Adams over 7.5 boards, plus 105. Cam Thomas over his 2.5 assists. I will say, really ugly plays I'm going to, but it makes sense, all like the analysis and the reasoning, everything. I don't know if I explained it very well today. Definitely a little bit slower than usual. I don't usually film on Sundays either. I think the NBA gets a little wonky on Sundays, but wanted to get you guys some more content. But yeah, that's the 3 plays that I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let's really talk about some leans now. This is just going to be off the dome from what I remember. Donovan Clingan, I was looking at some rebounds here. Now it's 11.5. I couldn't fully get there, but they are dealing with some injuries. We'll see if Denny Advia comes back. We'll see if Rob Will plays. But he's expected for 29 minutes in this game, and I think this expected is pretty good, 26 plus minutes in this game. And he's going against a team that has allowed a lot of rebounds this year, but it's Domantas Sabonis coming back. He came back last game. He should be active in this one, probably get around 24 or so minutes. And they're going to need Donovan Clingan out there against that big body in Sabonis, a good alternate rebounder against him. And in this much time on the court, and even going against, I'm not going to do the rebounds allowed because it might be skewed with Sabonis, but in this much time on the court, the closing line is insane. He gets this over 71, or pretty much 71% of the time. He's getting 26 to 36 minutes. He's beating his closing line value. So they're essentially saying like, hey, whenever he gets this much time on the court, he kind of outperforms his rebounding than what the books might have thought. And they have this up at 11.5. I understand that. But they've had this at 11.5 a couple times. You know, here's one game he had 11.5. He ended with 12. Underperformed in this game, but here's 3 games in a row that they had at 11.5, and he was kind of crushing that line. Stayed under, but had 11 boards and 23 rebound chances here. So it seems like when he has it at 11.5, he's going over more times than not. And when they have it, lower than that, he's absolutely crushing this line. So he can outdo expectations sometimes with this much time in the court, which I do expect from him today. Now he's also played these guys twice this year. He's had 8 rebounds, and he had 19 rebound chances. He's had 14 rebounds in 21 rebound chances. He's played 30 minutes in both those games as well. So we could see a lot of minutes from him. Sabonis didn't play in either one of these games, but again, they'll need his big body against Sabonis. And I don't mind this one. I'm not fully going to get there, but wanted to point it out for you guys. Another one, going back to that Houston game, Amin Thompson. I actually saw this at 17.5 points. Looks like it moved to 18.5. But I like his chances to score today. Just a really good matchup for him in transition. Really good in the paint. You got to worry about the blowout. It is a 13.5 point spread. But if it's not a blowout, seems like a really good spot to attack this guy. Again, I was looking at honestly, at 18.5, it's probably fine too. But I just, I think even in blowout situations, you can actually take a look at that. Go to it's always hard to find, splits, win-loss margin. Even in games they're winning by, let's say, 10 plus points, he's over this in 67% of those. So some of these just absolute duds in here. But he's over in 67% of the games they're winning by 10 plus. Even in like 15 plus, a blowout situation, he's a big reason why. 77% of times he's going over this in 15-point wins or more. 13.5 point spread. Amin Thompson, really, really good matchup to score some points today. And I have one more. It's Jamal Shed to get some assists over his 6.5. Now his line's really high, but we might not see quickly. He's missed the last 2 games. This is the second set of a back-to-back. And Jamal Shed's been getting a lot of time on the court, especially without quickly. He's been really diming up. 8 assists, 6 assists, but 14 potentials there, and then 20 potentials against the Clippers. I don't mind this matchup. Again, it should be a close game. Minus 1.5 point spread. Assists allowed their whole bunch, and the Lakers are also dealing with a ton of injuries. So they might be sitting a decent amount of guys, which again, probably just keeps this game even closer. And maybe not, the Raptors are actually pretty damn good, but there's no RJ Barrett, there's no Jakob Poeltl, there's, a lot of guys out for this team. And if there's no Quickly, that's kind of the reason I want to attack this. I just don't know if Quickly's going to be in the lineup or not. And that's kind of the problem. Like if I knew he wasn't going to play, I'd probably ladder this up. And I assume this bumps up to maybe even 7.5 or 6.5 gets more favored or whatever it might be. But I'd probably ladder this up to, 8 assists, 8 plus assists, because how good it's been without Quickly in that lineup in terms of potential assists and, his conversion and everything. But it's also a great assist spot for him. So this one might be one that I roll the dice later on. We'll see. If Quickly doesn't play, I think you're going to get great value on it. If Quickly does go out there and play, again, it's not like this one's dead in the water. We've seen games of Jamal Shed going over this, and it is a good matchup. He's been diming up. He's been a dimer over the past about a month, month and a half of the season. And I think if he gets the extra time in the court, he could do it against the Lakers. So that'll do it for me in this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We talked about 3 official video picks, talked about some leans as well. Sundays are not my favorite, dime to bet. That's why I'm not as confident as I typically am on my plays. But with the 3 official plays, they're ugly, but they do make a whole lot of sense when I looked, deep into them. So that's what I'm running with. But the leans also could be very, very valuable. We'll see what happens with those. And let me know if you guys want to continue hearing my leans for some of these video picks. Sometimes I just don't like to make a 35-minute video. I used to actually do that. We used to talk about back-to-back news and all the injury news. Let me know if you guys want that again. But yeah, I'm a little bummed out from what the views have been, and I shouldn't be. It shouldn't really matter at the end of the day. I like making these videos. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully the people that do enjoy it continue to enjoy it, and hopefully eventually we'll get those views back up. But the like rate was insane in yesterday's video, so I appreciate that. It was up to like 16% of the people that watched the video liked it, which is a crazy percentage. So again, I appreciate all that. I appreciate all the comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Monday's video picks. It's a holiday too, so hopefully you guys are chilling, not working, and you can enjoy some bets. I'll bring some good ones for tomorrow as well. So thank you for watching. Check out Pickett. That's the partner of the channel. RichPicks. Sign up. Code RichPicks. $3 or $100 when you use my code. It's a bet tracker, totally free for you guys to use. And it's awesome. It can show you all your stats if you're winning or losing. You want to know all those things. Free for you guys to use and sign up. They have a great mobile app. And again, partner of the channel, so it's a great way to support me. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Football should be fun. I'm a Patriots fan, so I'll be watching for sure. I might even go to this game. I don't know yet. It's going to be a game time decision for me to get over at Foxborough. But I'm rambling at this point. I'll get you guys on your way. Thanks for watching. Peace out.